And it does look like welcome here as well to our viewers on the live stream. Delighted to have Polo Line TV with us across this entire tournament as well. Broadcast live and free of charge as well. Jehangiri taking on Gaston Polo here. The St. Regis Cowdray Gold Cup 2026, the second game of the tournament after a really impressive performance earlier by Akasha defeating White Crane. My name is John Kent. I will be joined by my co-commentator Carl Ude Martinez as well once the presentation of the Carlos Cressida Memorial Trophy is done. Over to our right-hand side. But these two teams coming out in front of us. Gaston, the local side out there in the green. They line up with John Paul Lucic, Beltran Laule. It is not Gonzalo Ferrari. It is not Palon Sterling. It is Juan Britos out there playing for the Gaston side after the injury to Palon Sterling, and then Cruz Hegi, Jehangiri Polo, Mohamed Jehangiri, Rochi Torgatar, Gonzalo Perez, and Kajemo Cassette. Those are your two sides. We do play, of course, the Gold Cup. It is the British Open, and when I say open, that means that neither side will start with a goal on the board, despite the fact that Jehangiri's 22 goals take on Gaston's 21. So as the players line up, just waiting to see what way they will be going to get the game underway. Do keep an eye out on our social media, our website as well, to see what does happen with those games scheduled for the next couple of days. Of course, the decision was made with official government guidelines by the HPA, with the red weather warnings coming in Wednesday and Thursday play not possible. Expected to get to 38 degrees, so very understandably those games, they will be moved. But these grounds, they are looking absolutely superb. I mentioned it briefly in the last game. So much work done by all the teams behind the scenes, both in the office and on the grounds, by the Cowdray staff, bringing what is undoubtedly the greatest polo in the world at this time of year here to Cowdray Park. So as we just wait for the players just to go through their last preparations. Bit of a mixed tournament in the Queen's Cup. Jehangiri was interesting looking at their journey. They started games quick. They tended to go up early, but they were the victims of a couple of big comebacks. Ended up not making it out of a group after a very impressive start actually against today's opposition, defeating Gaston 14 goals to 7. But it was actually Gaston who ended up going a little bit further. They did in fact win the subsidiary of the Queen's Cup. But a slightly different lineup again. Palon Sterling it was who started that tournament. Then we saw Gonzalo Ferrari come in and take his place due to an unfortunate injury, and it is Juan Britos out there in that lime green hat of his. Jehangiri, Mohamed Jehangiri, bringing a new lineup. Gonzalo Perez, he returns from that side of last year, and then Sapagaset joining him this time around, and Rochi Torgatar as well.
Okay, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. John, thank you so much. Just went and did a presentation for the Carlos Cressida Trophy. Won that 10 times. Brilliant that the Akasha team have kicked off. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We are starting Gaston. And away we go, Jehangiri in possession. John, thank you for opening up. There's a great shot on goal already. We open with one goal straight away to Jehangiri, and that is how they want to set this bar. A brilliant opening.
Sapper Gasset. He's sort of had that trademark under the neck shot over the years. I think he's had that on Piedrita. You might correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like one of his. We're going to see Sapper Chukker as well in this, Chukker as well. What a start, Carl.
Yeah, really good start. And Sappo has that explosive power, that big run to goal. When he goes on one, it's very, very hard to stop. And if you win your line out, Sappo normally will take it all the way down to the end. So, good start for Jehangiri. Gaston, you've talked probably about the Queen's Cup match, have you? The 14-7 win that Jehangiri had over Gaston. It'll be Gaston now. Local team in possession. Fielding Juan Britos today as the substitute.
So Laule just couldn't quite get round, but a whistle coming into the play.
Let's have a look at the replay on this one for those on the live stream. Warm welcome to everybody on the live stream. Tuning from around the world, it's 33, 34 degrees at the moment in the UK. Good morning in Argentina and America. We are very close back-to-back games because of the heat. Normally it was scheduled at 3 o'clock, but we had to bring our game forwards at 1 o'clock. So we've got a penalty from the spot for the shirts of Jehangiri.
So Cassette sends it long down at the ground, looking for a run at the front in Torregatar, but good play. Look at that by John Paul Luce. What a start for the game for him, hitting a beautiful tail backhand, but Gonzalito Pierres, he will turn it back round. Pierres leaves it now for Sapper Gasset. Sapper Gasset drives it up and high, and going out in front now is Jehangiri, but it's going to fall out the back here for Cruz Heggie. Looking to turn around and face Gonzalito Pierres. Cruz Heggie now, son of course to former 10-goal player Eduardo Heggie, and it's going to be here now with Pierres. The tail backhand played, looking for Cassette on the turn, but it's good play by Laule takes it to the left, using Juan Britos there just to help him out. Sapper Gasset getting stuck in there, and eventually the umpires blow a whistle on the play.
Yeah, just a Sappo there coming round, but you could see Jehangiri had the Rochi Torregatar coming down the line. Just a bit of trying to grab that ball from Sappo and from the Gaston team, just giving away a penalty. League B, Jehangiri come from in this draw. Gaston are Group C. Along in Group C, Gaston, you've got White Crane and Signat Segavas are in the Gaston Group of C. And then in League B, Jehangiri looking strong in the Queen's Cup. They got quite far. So did Gaston. Gaston made the top 8 teams in the Queen's Cup. They did well. We hope Poulon, word on the street is Poulon should be back in about 15 days or so. Hopefully 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, hopefully he'll be here towards the end. We'll have to see. Great strike from Sappo. Up it goes on the grey. Picks up another goal, and it's a good start for Jehangiri. Watch out to see how Gonza and Sappo and Rochi work today in that power. Mohamed Jehangiri, great to see him in Matapolo as he's establishing himself and learning more. So is this team building strong foundations in the high goal. Gaston, they had a good run last year in the Gold Cup, and great to see them kicking off well. We had a whistle, I think, or just as they came back to the middle. So penalty has been awarded to Jehangiri. We'll find out why that came about. Sappo on the grey, bringing a lot of his. So it was just because not giving a good line and coming across, so they've been penalised. The umpires putting that out from the start, making sure that the rules are set for both teams, and you'll instantly be penalised. So that's why Sappo got that one, but it's back in possession. Up to Gaston now, John.
So here now with Hegi sends it long down the ground, and looking at the space now is Laulay. Chasing him backwards there is Toragatar, but Laulay, look at Sapagoset as well on Chukker coming back quickly. Jehangiri, he's there, and the umpires aren't going to let him get away with it, though.
Yeah. So a couple of penalties in the short space of time. A little bit like we saw in the... straight across. So it will be for Cruz, and it will be for Gaston. They're quite one of the most interesting teams in the fact that you've got quite a lot of individual players there coming together to create such a strong team effort. They reached the latter stages of the Queen's Cup. They've shown pretty good promise so far. Penalty along the ground. In it goes. Cruz Hegi scores that one. Nice little strike, straight under, and then it goes back to the middle. So 2-1 it is. Nice to see Cruz developing over the last few years. Carrying on the Hegi name. Very, very tactically experienced. He's very highly well mounted. Good attacking player. He's good in defence as well. And he's got those big hit clearances. The calm voice, if you like, John, at the back of the pack.
Yeah, he really is one of the world's upcoming number 4s. But here he is in front now for Gaston. It's here with Hegi. Goes in between the waiting Cassette and Toragatar. Hegi now takes it out to the left-hand side. Cassette's not going to let him go easily now as Hegi leaves it for Britos. Britos meeting him there was Toragatar, but Britos just managed to get back as he now takes it out right. Big next shot up towards the goal. Didn't get the cleanest of shots. So here now with Gonzalito Pierres underneath the pony of Britos. Toragatar's calling for it, and Toragatar gets hit the ball out in front on the near side. Coming back quickly there with him is Laulay, as Laulay just forced him into the error, as here now with Hegi. Little tail backhand played for John Paul Lucic. Great to see the confidence they've got in their number 1 as Britos just points him in the direction of the play as Pierres gives it now to Sapagoset. Cassette spins it out left. Beautiful grey pony, Sapo Chukker, is one best playing ponies all over the country. As the near side backhand played, now he's got the chance to run and before the umpires slightly stop him.
A lot of vocalness coming from that call, from the side of the field as well as on the field, but you saw the backhand come in, and then you saw Gaston just coming back onto the field. Couple of changes going on for Juan Britos. He's in the light green hat, just filling in if you're just tuning in for Polon. Sterling, who's still injured from earlier on in the season, but we hope to see him in a couple of weeks' time back out on the field, we're told. So obviously Gaston they had Gonzalo Ferrari playing with them today. Juan Britos, it's always hard to get a substitute like that then fits in, but Juano is such a accomplished player, and even the horses he's having to get used to. Those of you live streaming, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Polo Line on YouTube. Streaming free around the world, which is fantastic. Polo will be cancelled tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday here in the UK, just if we're in a red heat zone, which we are. Cowdray Gold Cup games will be postponed if you're just tuning in for Game 2. Game 1, we just had a Kasha win. They won a nice, comfortable win against White Crane, winning the Carlos Gracida Cup, the Memorial Trophy. But tomorrow is supposed to be 37, 38 degrees. Had a lot of comments coming in on Facebook, and please do drop us a message either to John and myself. We'll give you a shout out, or via Facebook on Cowdray TV and Polo Line. A lot of people saying the pictures look amazing, John, and that Cowdray looks spectacular. It always does in the sunshine, doesn't it? It looks beautiful.
Yeah, of course. Iconic location here. This is where the final will be held up towards the end of July. It's the near side backhand play now. Sorry, forehand by Britos, looking for a runner at the front, but there is Pierres. Sends it back with interest. Mohamed Jehangiri out in front. Good pick up by him now as he looks to take the ball up for halfway line. Called off now by Sappegaset. Now watch him run. Not if Cruz Hegi can do anything about it, as Hegi now comes back in front of Cassette. Tail backhand. Good play by Cruz Hegi. Finding Laulay. Laulay out in front of him goes Britos. Britos just now comes back. So Laulay has a look. It does work out for him, and Hegi, he wants the pass, and he gets the pass, and look at the speed of this horse. Cruz Hegi picks it up, takes it into a 30. Hegi now for Gaston with the shot towards the goal, and a beautiful goal, Carl.
Absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice from both. Really lovely foresight from Juano, from Britos. Launched that ball up. Cruz Hegi in plenty of space. He's always in the right place. He's a good horseman. He's got good, reliable horses. And he's cool under pressure, and he just takes that forwards, scores a cracking goal on a pony called Rodigia.
Yeah, really nice goal, because he went back as well. He managed to catch Sapo and then forwarded, finish it off as well. A really, really good period of play. But now here with Laulay, it's stolen off him by Gonzalito Pierres. Pierres just used his experience, takes it out to the left-hand side. On the near side, Gonzalito looking for the score, but coming back quickly here will be Laulay, and he just watches the ball up over the back line.
Yeah. Good pressure, though, from Gaston. Interesting to see how this will work and whether you go for the Gaston. He's bringing the Beltran, always brings the speed, and Sapo has got to keep up with that, but he is so explosive. Him and Pierres there working that midfield. It's interesting what they see. They collide again with Laulay there.
So Laulay here for Gaston. Behind him, Hegi. Now Hegi goes up. Waiting just patiently behind is Cassette. So Laulay sends it long down the ground, and it's between Luchik and Jehangiri. Mohamed going back. Good pressure as the tail backhand. Oh, not a lot of distance by Torrigatava. The first buzzer's gone as Pierre has got a little touch, but Britos, he will come back at them now. Britos takes it to the left-hand side. Now Juan Britos with the shot towards the goal. It's going to go close. It's going to go wide to the right-hand side.
Yeah, we had the buzzer. That'll be the end of the Chukker here. Nice applause from the Cowdray grandstand here. A lot of people watching here for this second game. It's 2-2 apiece here in Chukker 1. We're going to go to a couple of commercial breaks on this. Few moments. We'll be back in a second on the live stream. Stay with us. So we're back. Welcome back on the live stream. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you're tuning in. Do shout out, drop us a message on Facebook, Carl and John, or directly to us, and we can give you a shout out. It's 2-2 in the twos here. Gaston are one of the most complete teams in the tournament. They've got a local base here at Cowdray, as we were talking about. They've got tremendous experience through Polon, but we've got Juan Britos in subbing and Cruz Hegi. Oh, he's definitely that firepower with Beltran Laulay. They might not be the loudest team in the draw, but they certainly have big contenders, and they did very well in the Queen's Cup. And it's really important to see how they go today against Jehangiri. These guys have got history in the Queen's Cup, and Sapo and his boys look like they're on fire, John, and they've got possession now.
So looking for Rochi Torgatar, backhand played by Laule. Good play by him as he puts it back round here for Hegi. Hegi, the family who have brought John Paul Lucic up to this level here in the UK. It's here now with Laule on the near side. Near side backhand played by Cassette. Looking to spin it back round. No one had saw it coming though, so it's going to be here with Hegi again. Hegi just looking to use the blocker in Britos. Hegi spins it back over the halfway line. Called off here by Britos. Britos under the net. Couldn't quite get the clean shot. And Pierres able just to come in there. Pierres and Cassette as the umpires being played to a stop again.
So, yeah, we've got both exclaiming there, but it's definitely going one way. And it's going to go up the field to our left. You can see already Sapo's like, it's definitely going our way, please. He's already gone and sat on the 60-yard line. You might have to come back a little bit, Sapo. I don't think the umpires are going to go that far. So he canters back. But it has been given to the Jehangiri boys. Both of these teams are very well balanced for this tournament. Jehangiri did create a good, impressive victory over Gaston in the early stages of the Queen's Cup. But the Gold Cup is completely different. It's a different animal. It's a different tournament. And the horses are going to be different, and the players are going to be different. Here we go, launched up by Sapo to see if he can find Gonzalito.
So Gonzalito now just takes it to the right-hand side. Good play by Pierres. He's being watched once more by Laule as Pierres spins it back round. Laule and Britos watching him closely. Good play by Juan Britos, who's just got caught there, but Laule providing a backup, who's able to take it back round, just create that line, manipulate a little bit of space for himself here with Laule. Great play by the youngster, but it's stolen away by another young up-and-coming superstar of the sport, Torgatar. Rochi now appealing for a foul. It looked like John Paul Lucic might just have got caught underneath.
Yeah, let's have a look. For those of you watching on the live stream, we can try and explain that for the pitch side as well. You had just teeing up the ball to hit it, and as the Jehangiri guys were going to hit it, Gaston just came down into that shot, just committed a bit too much, so couldn't play the shot, and a penalty. Another one, they've moved up. This is where Sapo wanted it originally. He's got it finally after another set play, and it will be a penalty to the boys, Mohammed's team. Sapo. Aggressive, powerful, direct. Keywords for him. Here we go. There it goes. Doesn't often miss. Sapo scores another one. That'll be 3 for him in this match so far, taking all 3 goals himself. And back to the middle they go. So super well mounted. A lot of his own breed there coming to the field.
So ball goes back in play, and it's going to come out the back of the line out here for Britos. Britos on the near side, looking to find Hegi. Hegi and Cassette come together. Open backhand played by Cassette, taken away though by Britos, and there's another whistle on the ground. I think Torgatar this time might have just come out in front.
Yeah, I think you're right, John, and this time it sways to the green and orange shirts, doesn't it? Torgatar crossed over in front of Britos. So, Juano, always easy to spot. Juano, he's a commentator's dream with his bright green hat on. Yeah, he is. So, the man that's cool and calm, upcoming number 4 in the team with the Hegi name behind him. Cruz Hegi takes this penalty. Oh, it's beautifully struck. It's beautifully done. Gaston score, taking it up to 3 apiece now. bad penalty there given away by Torre Guitar. They'll be annoyed with that one because actually they had possession, they had time, just got a little bit flustered in the danger area, and in the honey pot they will score, and they did.
The players back in the centre of the ground, just not quite seeing the free flow of that opening exchanges in this Chukker. A little bit more whistle as the players crowd each other out, but great play by Jehangiri. Look at the shot down the ground. Torre Guitar just ridden out of it, and here now with Hegi. Hegi uses Britos as the blocker. Hegi now takes it out to the left-hand side. Waiting up the front, John Paul Luchet. Look for Britos. Britos calls for it, and Britos gets delivered with a perfect pass. Has he got the speed? Yes, he has. Has he got the composure as well? It's Juan Britos out in front, drives it towards the goal. Juan Britos wide to the right-hand side. We've heard a whistle. That may well be free change. But what a play that was on the counter.
Oh, he raises his head. I'm just watching him go off there to change horses off that grey and raises his head in the air. That was a goal every day of the week, and he can't believe he's missed it. He can't believe he's put it to the side, because that would have been nice for that momentum. It's 3 apiece there. Quick change. And a big shout out to all of the grooms and the backstage staff that are really making sure these horses are keeping as cool as possible under these temperatures. Tomorrow and Thursday, super hot, no polo being postponed, but even today there's a lovely breeze though, which is really good for the ponies, and every single measure, especially from Cowdray here, making sure these ponies are as cool as possible in between chukkers or whilst they're waiting to come onto the field. Just got off his grey Emily, Juano, and he's just going to jump onto his spare for that one, which is Estatística. It's a good shot of Sapo. 3 goals so far, 1 of them penalties, 2 field goals. He is the man bringing in the ball right now. Hooks it over to the right-hand side, but it bounces off Britos. Ooh, nice play. Just gets a bit more space. Went back a little bit, that one, John.
Yeah, great play. You're seeing these players combine more and more like that at the moment, as long as there's motion shown as Pierres leaves the ball for Torre Guitar. Good defence at the front by Hegi, but Torre Guitar is able to pick it up now for Jehangiri. Sends it out to the left, looking for Cassette. Cassette just brings it under a spell. Use it is for cool. The umpires had a look, but they're happy. And now Cassette does send it long, but back. Picking up this danger is Cruz Hegi. Hegi takes it to the left of Mohamed Jehangiri. Still here now with Hegi. Just waiting close by was Britos. Britos called for the pass, but just waiting one more time. Now leaving it was Hegi for Britos. Britos sends it out wide left, looking for Laule. These players in green playing really well together as Laule now takes it. Laule was going for the left-hand shot, but it's going to be picked up here by Cassette, and Cassette finding Pierres. Pierres sends it long. Mohamed Jehangiri, he is on the run. Laule in between Jehangiri. Look at the speed here. Jehangiri with the shot towards the goal. Has he found it? I think it's just gone wide to the right-hand side, but both sides showing the value here of hitting it first time and delivering those passes.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's the key, isn't it? It's working out who's going to decide. The decider of this game would be the ones that either want the control or want the speed, and which one's going to get that transition through, who's going to actually deal with that the best. Lovely launched pass from Gonzalito, but just couldn't quite find the angle for the finish from everybody. So watch how Britos just opens up quickly left there to find some space, and he just brings that ball over there to bring in the next set play. That's a lovely ball up to his next number. Oh, John, what a back. Look at that, but it's out.
Yeah, backs it overboard. As you've mentioned Britos, we should just mention he is, of course, not playing any of his own horses out here. He's fully mounted by Pelon Sterling and the Gaston side, so it's really great to see him running those ponies as it's sent long now by Hegi. Unable to pick it up initially was Pierres. Now it's left by Britos for Laule. Laule gives it back to Cruz Hegi. The team interplay out here is wonderful to see as Cruz Hegi now takes it into the 30. Looks for Britos again. Britos gives it back to Hegi. Hegi with the shot, and what a score. That is all 4 players for Gaston getting involved.
Yeah, and you can see actually how annoyed they were, Jehangiri, at that time. They shouldn't have let that through. You saw little bit of frustration there from Sapo, saying to the guys, come on, we shouldn't have let that one through. That was an easy goal we've just given away. And the moment you show a crack like that to Gaston, a team that are so structured, they will exploit that. And that's unfortunate there for Jehangiri, but very good for Gaston.
So Gaston look to go again. You talk about the structure. It's Nachi Hegi in the tent. That is a coach that will give you that kind of play. As it's here now with... Oh, it's left behind by Britos coming across, but I think drawing a whistle.
Yeah, I think drawing a whistle there. Sapo was going to go off on a flyer, but there was a couple of Gaston players around that line. So it was a hit from Britos. Then Hegi came to it, and as Hegi came and Britos was on the other side, Sapo decided to split the river with a Jehangiri flow, but unfortunately the river couldn't be split. And it has been given to Gaston. Big shout out to a few people giving us a bit of love from around the world. Thank you very much to you guys for getting in contact. What have we got from Nigeria? From Faruk Nasoro, from Kano, Nigeria. Well done, guys. Good tuning in. So, Chris Hegi again. Oh, that looked like he hit that. Then the stick just literally hooked it to the left, John. It just fired off, didn't it?
Yeah, went wide left after a very impressive start to the penalties in the last game. The stats weren't amazing for these sets of players in the Queen's Cup, but they were much better at the beginning here of the gold. But that one wide left by Cruz. It's here now with Pierres, who leaves it for Cassette. Cassette now sets it up. Pierres runs out to the left. The first buzzer is gone as Cassette looks for Torgatar. Torgatar and Britos closing each other down. Britos with the tail backhand, but it's going to go here now for Pierres. Pierres sends it back where it came from. Looking for Cassette, but good play by Laulay to pick it up. Laulay, the tail backhand. How far down at the ground can Gaston now go in the final 15 seconds? Not very far is the answer as Sapa Cassette brings it back round now. Did Jehangiri have the time to bring it from here? It's Cassette with the shot. The whistle is gone. We'll see what we come back with, but the end of a second.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the whistle. That will be the end of the chukker, but there was a little infringement there. So we will talk about that whilst we go to a commercial break on the live stream and whilst these players change ready for the third chukker, and we will be starting somewhere down there with the third chukker from ideally, I think a penalty has been given and a ball has been placed. We'll be back in a moment.
Everything begins here. Every field, every crop, every meal. But across the world, the soil we depend on is under pressure. And the future of farming depends on restoring it. Safe Rock, a natural resource to enrich the earth.
So welcome back, everybody, for the start of the third chukker. We see Chris Hegi coming out on the field, scored 2 goals from 2 penalties. He's been the penalty scorer, and out of those 2 penalties, he scored those 2 goals, which is lovely to see. What Gaston must do? Well, they've got to turn the game into a tactical battle, haven't they? They've got to use Britos, they've got to use Hegi's experience and all these penalties that they're doing, and they've got to force Jehangiri to work for every goal. Gaston will start down here. This third chukker. They're 1 goal up on the scoreboard, but they'll also start with this penalty. The ball was hit towards goal, but there was obstruction and it was played into a player. So the umpire has called it that they will give a penalty to Gaston.
So Cruz Hegi out here on a mare called Brillantina in this third chukker. Sends it out to the left-hand side for Beltran Laule. Now watch for Gonzalito Pierres. He's here on Open Baby Girl, which Carl will tell you more about in a bit, as it's here now with Laule. I heard an umpire shout, use it. Gonzalito's got his stick in the air.
Yeah, Open Baby Girl, that's Gonza's. Won a lot of awards over the year, especially this season, out of Open Easy Girl, Open Baby Girl, and the way that turned in order to get to that ball was very impressive. Gonza, he is such an experienced player. He's played and won this tournament before. He's played with his brother and won it. Played in the Argentine Open, the US Open, here in the British Open. And it's nice to see Gonza this year with Sapo. We haven't seen those two play together for a while. So, Sapo is going to come out on Mimicha, this bay mare, Mimicha. Taps it, looks up, and there's some space for him, or is he going to just go for it? Oh.
Well, he did go for it, but Roshi Torigata, he keeps it in. Torigata and Hegi coming together.
Yeah, interesting, that one. He did go for it. I think the wind, you can see from the flags, is going to the right, so it took the ball to the right. It was a really good strike, but as these two came together to fight for it, you had sort of Cruz coming around one way, and you had Torigata the other, and then a Gaston player went around the back of that one as well. Hegi on Brillantina. Okay, so it will be a spot there for Gaston, just inside the line. A lot of stop-starts, like you say. We haven't had as much flow, have we, John, as the first game here opening up this tournament, but let's hope as the chukkers go, they'll find a bit of momentum.
Yeah, one player who certainly can force momentum on any game is Cassette, as he leaves it now for Pierres. Pierres with a shot towards the goal. Jehangiri, what a score that is. The three of them combining once again. It was Torigata who gave it to Cassette, and then Pierres, a lovely finish.
Yeah. What I love about Gonza is the way he changes direction so effortlessly. He's so smooth. He's such a smooth player. And he just changed the direction. He found the space. He wanted the goal before, but he found it this time. And really lovely if you watch the way he hits the ball and what decisions he makes, which will really complement, because he's so smooth and fluid, it really complements then the explosiveness of Sapo.
Ooh, Sapo was nearly gone, but
yeah.
They look really quick. The horses for Juan Britos in particular out there today, but Pierres comes again. Pierres with the shot, needed to put a little bit more on it, I think, as Laule just got there in the nick of time. Good defensive play. Now Torigata sends it back, and Cassette is all on his own. He will walk it through, and wonderful play between Torigata and Sapo Cassette.
Yeah, they needed to get a goal there, didn't they? They had so many men go to goal. They had to score, and it is Sapo that manages to find that and just finishes it off. He was in the right place at the right time. But the way he turned, like you say, Britos turned and flew to goal, but so did Sapo. And when he attacks, well, he is very, very deadly.
Yeah, Pallon will be pretty happy watching his horses play, many of them out of his own breed in the Oriental breed, as it's here now with Hegi on the near side. Hegi bringing it back, and the umpires blow the whistle on the ground.
Yeah, definitely a foul there. had Cruz Heggie turning, bringing it round. So just delaying it was Mr. Heggie. Turned it 180. He's got to then use it. Can't turn it any more than that. And then he tried to play it, so the umpires have blown him for that. It's a good rule that makes the flow of polo quicker. It stops these little transitions where the game suddenly stalls. And it just keeps momentum flowing. And the umpires have taken that and given it against Gaston and Cruz for just delaying that and turning it more and waiting.
It's an interesting rule, that one, Carl, as it's sort of brought it in this year. You saw the players a couple of years ago weren't able to take it right anymore, so all of them were kind of bucking the rule by flicking it under their horse's neck and sending it left. Now the umpires this year, they said you can't go left and you can't go right.
Yeah.
You've got to hit it.
Yeah.
And it's really opened up the game.
Yeah, it really has. Stops that transition of stalling, doesn't it? Great goal from Sapo. Pops it through. And there you go, from a rule that's come in that the players need to make sure that they're drawing to all the time. They got a penalty, Sapo, and he has converted it. And they'll be kicking themselves, Gaston, because they know better than that. And penalty given, and another one to Mr. Cassette on UNICEF. Was he jumped onto Picky? No, he's on UNICEF. Cracking little pony.
So players get going again, and it will be here with Cruz Heggie. Heggie and Cassette. Oh, look at the little flick back there by Heggie. Heggie opens his shoulders, sends it long, deflects off the pony of Mohamed Jehangiri. And here now Cassette appealing for the foul, and there's another stop on the play.
Oh, another one. They were only just getting going here, but you can see the way that this game, they're just trying to, when that attack comes, they've got to get out the way, or they've got to make some room, because otherwise penalties are going to get forced. Okay. Cruz can't believe it. He's just talking to the umpire. Free change going on at this point in time. I think Jehangiri have got to really allow Pierres and Cassette in the open field, and Pierres to control possession and really prevent Gaston from slowing the game down, to be honest. That was a high hook that they've just called. A high hook from Cruz Heggie, Gaston. So again, another penalty given to Sapo. He's changed now. Popped off UNICEF and gone onto a mare called Picky. Will they get another goal from here? They need another goal. They're 6-4, 2 goals behind at the moment. 6-4 in front. Just push that lead a little bit more. From a set play, they've got the long way. Sapo is going to take this one. Interesting to see which way Gonza goes and which way Rochi goes. There's the left bit of space. Has he got anyone to pass to? Is he going to hold it, John?
So it's going to be Pierres. He'll pick it up in a bit of space. Sends it long down the ground. Look how Britos takes away Sapo Gasset at the front now. Mohamed Jehangiri and John-Paul Lucic. Lucic comes back, takes it across. Good defensive play there by the Gaston player, John-Paul Lucic. Takes it up towards the boards, appealing for a foul, but nothing coming there from Cassette. Cassette just looks to scoop in and take control again. Sapo Gasset takes it off Heggie. Can't get round Laulay, so turning onto it first is going to be Juan Britos. Britos on the near side. Waiting with him is Pierres. Britos brings it round. Still Pierres waits. Still Britos just a bit stronger, as the umpires now say use it. As Britos now sends it out left, it will just settle inside those boards. Meeting it was Cassette. He lost sight of it, and Pierres is able to come and take control. Pierres taking it to the left of John-Paul Lucic. Now Gonzalito looks to go. Brother to Facundo and Nico. Cousin to Polito. Gonzalito Pierres with a shot into the crowd. And there first is Britos with the near side backhand. Looking for Beltran Laulay. Laulay looks out in front, looks behind. Oh, look at a little hop and a skip by Britos as Laulay is able to send it out to the left-hand side for Cruz Heggie. 2.5 minutes left here in this first half. Heggie with the ball on the near side, leaves it for Laulay. Laulay now to the left of Gonzalito. Pierre's a look at the speed of Beltran Laulay, brings it under a spell, takes it into the 20. Beltran Laulay with the tap towards the goal. The whistle's blowing. We'll see what the umpires say as it goes to the right-hand side. I think I heard a whistle. I may have been early in saying that.
No, it wasn't a whistle.
I heard something that wasn't there.
No, I think it might have been Laulay exclaiming at the high-pitched voice that he'd just missed the goal. But there was definitely no whistle. That's a shame. That was a lovely run from Laulay. Ball going to be brought back in. A couple of stop there for changes. Sapo up to Gonza. Gonza's got lots of room now to just make this next play as Torregatar storms up on the grey midfield. And Sapo then chases. That's a great launch, John. Look at that ball, but look how quickly they're going back in defence.
Yeah, he's a lovely clean hitter of a ball, as you say, Carl, but it's going to be picked up in defence here by Laulay. Laulay takes it to the left. He's under pressure from Torregatar, and this time there's definitely a whistle.
Yeah, we heard that one nice and clear over in the far corner. Cruz is just going to jump off onto another pony. So is Britos. So is Sapo. These horses had a bit of a break from Queens. Looks like penalty's been given for a little bit of back chat to the umpire. Technical's been given. They're going to moving up to 5B. Umpires saying, look, you got to keep the back chat down, guys. Otherwise, we will blow you for it. Black shirts of Jehangiri just got to be careful. You know, many a time that Sappho gets his heart on his sleeve out there. I don't know if it was Sappho, if it was Rochi, but there's lots of emotions run high out there. But early games, got a lot of games to play. These guys have got to play at least 4 matches before quarterfinals, before semi-finals and finals even begin. And every game feels like a final. Every goal matters, every ride-off, every moment. 19 teams entering the Gold Cup. They've all got a chance. It's wide open. And you are only as good as that day you play. Got to give 110% every time. So Cruz, Heggie, change pony onto a fresh one. What a beautiful strike. And that is going to fall straight in front for Britos if he can find it. He's got a guy in the way. Britos in front. Britos in front. He was impeded. They blew the whistle. Are they going to give it? They're going to give a penalty one. They are, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. It deserved to go. Cruz Heggie sailed that. Britos tried. Then he tried again and he tried again. And there was just too much pressure and traffic in front of him. And a little bit of infringement of play from the black shirts. Penalty one given to Gaston, but John, that nearly went all the way. Britos only had to finish it off, but good job he was there.
Yeah, Cruz Heggie is such a lovely hitter of the ball. Of course, we speak about his father, Eduardo Heggie, who for so long he held the title as the world's greatest number 4. The way he used to strike those penalties, those passes down the ground, and that was one straight out of his textbook.
Yeah. The Eduardo Heggie, the man.
Yeah.
Okay, 6-5. Look at the scores changed instantly. A couple of penalties.
So here now with Heggie again. This time he takes a tap, a change in tactic as he sends it out to the left-hand side for Britos. Britos, ooh, he opened up his shoulders. You could see what he was thinking from our viewpoint in the stands, but he just sent it a bit wide to the left-hand side, not quite connecting this time round. And it will be ball on the back line.
Yeah, both teams are very similar in the way they're balanced, and I think this is why we're getting this stop and start there. You know, you've got that explosiveness from Sapo and the boys, but Gaston are not letting that happen. And,
so, getting going again here with Cassette. Cassette Gives it to Toragatar. Toragatar now, Sapagaset just floated around to the right. Then he goes left. Now he comes right again, controlling the horse as it goes up. Juan Britos, he will come back in defence. Sapagaset has a look. Britos with the backhand only as far as Hegi. Hegi sends it left, looking for Laulay, but there first with the tail is Pierres. Deflects off the pony. John-Paul Luce. What a shot that is by John-Paul Luce, drawing admiration from the crowd here as Sapagaset goes back with Laulay. Toragatar, he's there as well. There goes the first buzzer. 30 seconds here as just staying up. Look at the horsemanship by Sapagaset, and now he looks to take on two players in green. Sapagaset, Toragatar goes to his left. He's got Jehangiri out in front of him. Cassette with the neck shot, looking for Toragatar. Has he got time? Rochi with the neck shot over the top, and now with Gonzalito Pierres. Pierres unable to find it, and the bull falls dead here now for Juan Brito. Send it long as far as you can. There goes the second buzzer.
Ladies and gentlemen, pitch side and on live stream, that was a nice explosive 30 seconds towards the end. It is 6 to Jehangiri, 5 to Gaston Polo. It is half time, and those of you on the live stream, do have a look at our highlights package from last year, 2025. Fantastic highlights montage to get you in the spirit of all of the trials and tribulations and the atmosphere that's celebrated here at Cowdray. It is the 70th year anniversary this year, and we're looking forward to you joining us throughout the whole tournament. We'll be back in a few moments for the second half. Thank you.
Welcome to Cowdray Park. The crown jewel that everybody wants to win. It is, of course, the 2025 Gold Cup for the British Open Championship. La Dauphine Scone, Kazakh, La Dauphine Marquez de Riscal, Fun Park, Gaston, Aureus, UAE, White Crane, Bangash, Galatagan, Dubai, Jehangiri, King Power, La Magdalene, Park Place, Fujian Indian Tigers, Signet Thai Polo, Valhalla.
Reverse bass drop.
We're ready, and the game is in way, and ball's in. Here we go, everybody.
There's going to be a bit of an injury timeout here.
It's 4-on-3. Nico's got the ball out of the throw-in.
And Mia Cambiasso, she's got through. La Dauphine Scone, 9. Kazakh, 8.
This is an unbelievable finish to an unbelievable game. We're going to talk about this for a long time.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second half, or we'll be starting shortly. We've got treading into the divots at the moment here, but just want to run through some stats here. Powered up by Lineup Polo. But if you look at that, you've got 3 goals each from both sides, but we also had lots of penalty conversions as well. 3 out of 3 for Jehangiri got theirs, which made them to 6. Only 2 out of 3 drops their penalty conversion for Gaston. More fouls from Gaston, 8 to 6. Throw-ins, pretty similar. 5 Jehangiri, 6 Gaston, 1 on piece. But if you look at the last line, this is a really interesting stat. Drought. What does drought mean? Well, yeah, does it mean it's really hot at the moment? We've got no water. No, it doesn't. It means the in-between goals that each team has scored, the amount of time. So look at that, really interesting. There's 6 minutes, 51 seconds Jehangiri had from the time they scored the last goal to the next goal. And then Gaston even longer, 7 minutes, 47. That's a whole chukker of time that they haven't managed to get a goal on the scoreboard. It's so interesting. And when we start adding these up and start looking, you can see patterns forming. And we'll hopefully be building on this and allowing that time and these modules to happen as we go through this tournament to give you more and more information. More stats for you. 3 out of 3, obviously, for the penalties, all by Sapo. Cruz Heggie, 2 out of 3, 67%. He just drops on that one. We had 2 30 yards and 1 40 yard for Sapo and Jehangiri. And then we had a 30, a 40, and a 60, and it was the 60 that Cruz didn't get. Gaston just couldn't quite find on that. Really interesting to see the records and who's getting what and who's not. So, what a great shot that was. Little balls there on the field as everyone is treading in the divots. The drone shot is telling you that this field is beautiful. Look at that, the stripes on that. It looks like a Wimbledon centre court. And then again, this is one of my favourites, the map here. Now, what a difference this is already at half-time to the previous game between Akasha and White Crane. You can see that the fouls are all dotting around all over the field, whereas actually in the previous match they were collecting just within the sort of 60, 40, 30 sort of area, and they were very sort of good grouping, where these fouls are everywhere. You've got fouls literally from the 5B line all the way up to the 30-40 line on both sides. Interesting to see where the goals are coming in from. Most of those are penalties, obviously, so that's why they are where they are, but this just shows you that the use of field and where the fouls are happening are very sporadic and very erratic compared to the very clinical map that we had at halftime in the first. A lot of people have been getting in contact saying, could you remind us of the groups? Could you remind us of the leagues? Yeah, there they are. We've stuck them up on the field. Thank you for letting us know. If you've got any questions, do let us know. But there's League A, Dubai, Fern Park, Clinova, Circular. That'll be Shoreline, Ojo Caliente. Group B, Akasha, Valhalla, Black Bears, Jehangiri. Obviously, Jehangiri now playing out of Group B at the moment against a crossing over to Group C to Gaston. Only 2 more in Gaston, White Crane and Signet Segaras, and White Crane just played earlier. Group D, La Dauphina Marquez de Riscal, UAE Polo, Park Place and Jindal La Dauphina. And then Group E, La Hechicera, Kazakh and Sujan Indian Tigers in Group E. And talking about Tigers, Sujan India Tigers, we talked about Pelon still being injured and Juano Britos filling in for him as substitute. That obviously can't happen all the time, John, because Juano Britos is playing back with Jaisal Singh and Zubir, and it's a brilliant team again. I love watching these guys go, but he's playing for Sujan India Tigers, isn't he, Juano?
Yeah, just worth touching on that rule as well. It's obviously when you start getting the players of Pelon's rating up there off the 8-goal handicap, the rules are slightly different when it comes to substitutes. You can't obviously bring in an unlimited number of sort of 8-goal players, so they do say you can bring in a player from another team as long as they are not in your own league, obviously playing against you, and have an interest in what happens. So when you get that 7-goal level, there's a bit more freedom about who you can bring in comparison to when you're 6 goals and below, and it's kind of you have to have someone who hasn't played in the tournament. So that's why he's able to play. Yeah,
and you say there's that more freedom, but it's really funny because talking to Nachi Heggie about that, and you know, it's hard. It's hard to get those substitutes on that rule, and it's hard to then find someone like Pelon's stature to then come in and you can't. It's not a replacement, is it? It's a substitute, and that's the key thing.
Yeah, no, and obviously, you say there's more freedom, but the freedom's because there's very few players.
Yeah, sure.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword almost when it comes to that. But that's why you can bring in a player who's already playing in the tournament. And Gonzalo Ferrari, he played amazingly in the Queen's Cup.
Didn't he?
He was part of the Gaston side last year, so he knew the organisation. Obviously, with, as we were saying, Sapo Gusset as well, who we're playing against today.
Played last year for Gaston.
But Juan Britos, we've seen a lot of him over the years. Pot place, he was obviously a major figure in there.
Yeah.
Their kind of team and setup, and this year it's good to see him. I think he looks great on Pelon's horses.
Yeah, he really does, and that was one thing Nachi said this morning, was that he hasn't had much time on them, and he's going out there on Pelon's horses and trying to get the best out of them. But if you hadn't have told me that, or Nachi hadn't have told me that this morning, I would not know, and I would have said, well, they're his, that he's been playing all the time, because I don't think it's, he's doing a very good job at making sure they're at the right place at the right time, and he's hitting the ball really well off them. So. Quite a lot of people here. Look at that already. It's opening day, John. Look at this. Opening day. Look how beautiful Cowdray looks. Look at the lawns. And then we've got some stats coming up. Cruz Heggie, penalty scored, 3 out of 2. We talked about that's why they just dropped their percentage. Head-to-head. And Sapo, field goals, 2 out of 2. Fouls. Look at that. It's really good. So we are 6-5. Is Jehangiri. Only one in it. Very close. Very well balanced teams. Some more horses coming out. Looking at who's coming out on what. We'll talk you through them. Let's have a look and see. Beltran coming out on a horse called Chivas Regal. That'll be Beltran. Juano is coming out on a horse called, one of Pelon's called Latana. We talked about Pelon's horses. It's called Latana. It's a really good one. We're just seeing Cruz there down in the tent getting ready. Watched him over the last few years. I mean, he's got the captain's armband on. They've given him the responsibility, John. But if you think back to, let's say 3 years ago when you and I commentated on him, the difference in his play, his confidence, his calmness, his smoothness is he's like a wise man. He's got his dad's head already on him, already at his age, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and he I think it was about a couple of years ago when we started watching this tournament. He'd always looked good at the back, and then he suddenly added that attacking impetus to his game. And we saw it, of course, in the Argentine Open this year, playing as part of the Elestina lineup. Elestina Chapla side. Yep. Those beautiful pink shirts that they had out there.
Yeah.
And it's good to see it's him, obviously, and there's Antonio Heggie as well, the two Heggies, the next generation of them coming along in this huggle now. Antonio obviously playing with Dubai, and a name we're going to be seeing plenty of throughout this season.
Yeah. And I think the more polo that he plays, the better and better he gets, and he's super well mounted. Look forward to kind of seeing his little story, Cruz, because I think we don't often, he's not one of the biggest stars as it were, like we're always calling, we're always talking about, but he's doing so much, quietly in the background. Do shout out to us, send us a message, please. If you've got our contact details, you can send me a message to Carl or to John or to Facebook, to the Polo Line. We'll give you a shout out. It's good to know where you're all tuning in from. Like we say, Cruz is going to come out on a pony called Rhodizia, Latana for Pelon, Chivas Regal for Beltran, Jean-Paul is out on Tojija, Sapo is going to come out on, is it Mimicha? Yeah, start of the 4th. Mimicha, that's what we want for the start of the 4th. I think he's got a spare called Tango, which is a cracking little pony, he was saying. And yeah, it's going to be very close. They're very similar, these two, and it's going to be whether Sapo gets that explosiveness or whether Juano and Cruz can work their magic on their side. Right, here we go. Ball's in play, John.
So ball comes back in play. Welcome back to those here at the ground. We're here for the 4th Chukker as it comes away now with Gonzalito Pierres. Under pressure there by Laule. Lovely little flick, but it was read nearly by Britos. Zapaga set, little backhand to Pierres on the turn though is Britos. Britos gets their first tail backhand looking for Heggie. Heggie just pushed there by Toragatar, but Heggie so strong there as he brings the ball back round. Toragatar applying the pressure. Down the ground is Britos. Still here with Heggie on the near side. Zapaga set coming back as it's here now with Heggie. Heggie leaves it behind. Britos for a little flick back, and the umpires may well have said that had gone over to the black team side.
Yeah, I think so. I think Rochi there was right on the line, and umpires wasn't a hard one for them, I think. And saw Juano Britos just committed to that near side a little bit too much and didn't see him coming through, so easy call for them, but just stops that Gaston flow once again. They've been good at that. Big welcome to everybody that's here at Cowdray watching this game. So good to see so many people here. Carlos Cressida Cup just played for, which Akasha took. He won the record 10 times. Look at all the, there's all the press and all the media. Look at all those guys. They follow the circuit, taking photos from Florida to the UK to Argentina. That looks like Snoopy's son, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So umpires are just having a chat, John, aren't they? Not as maybe clear as they thought with Juano coming across.
So it looked for all intents, but it was going to be in favour of the Blacks. They were even teeing the ball up, but it's actually gone in favour of Gaston.
There you go. Looked like Juano had come across there, so we'll find out what umpires decided on that one.
So here now with Hegi. Hegi sends it out to the left-hand side. Laulay looking to get there, but there first is Pierres. Pierres plays the backhand. Torgatar called off by Cassette. Cassette takes it to the right of the waiting Laulay. Still now with Sapa Cassette. Has a look down the ground as it's just looking to go in between Laulay and Britos. Britos looks to take on the defensive mantle. Sapa Cassette went for the under the neck shot, left behind as Laulay just gets caught there by Gonzalito Pierres. Pierres out to the left. Coming back quickly there is Laulay. Pierres called off the play by Torgatar. Torgatar couldn't quite find it, but John Paul Lucic, he does. Good play again by the Gaston number one, and he sends a pass down the ground as Britos looks to get round Torgatar. Good defensive play. Rochi Torgatar sends it back, but everyone had gone tail, and he sent it out open towards Cruz Hegi. Hegi now takes control here for Gaston. It is Cruz Hegi. Oh, didn't like the angle of the line out. Cruz Hegi just feels his back there as Sapa Cassette thought he had control of something.
Yeah. Yeah. You say Johnny had control of something. He had control of the ball, but unfortunately he drove that ball into contact, into a player with a bad ride-off on that side. The ride-off just caught him on the back, and that's why he's holding his hand, but he's a strong boy as our Cruz. Sapo counts up and says, sorry mate, did not mean to do that. Cruz says, it's all right, I'm going to go and change onto a different pony. So he jumps off Lantana. And he goes on to, let's have a look. Cruz is off Regis. Goes on to Nippers. Nippers. Played this last year in the Gold Cup. I remember this little pony, little Nipper. It is a tiny little pony. Maybe that's why they called it Nipper, John. Nipper. Okay, so Cruz has changed. He's back. He looks okay. Little white blaze on this pony. He's going to take this penalty. Still 6-5, but this will take them to 6-6 with 5 minutes very early on in this Chukker. Great shot. Up it goes. The flag goes up. It looked like it was going all the way, and it does. And Cruz, look at that. I mean, smooth. So he hurts his back. He canters off, jumps onto his pony, John, comes straight back on, did a circle. Didn't even take time. He did a circle, cantered back up to it, struck it, got a goal.
Yeah, he's so consistent. I said there was that. We thought it would get better early on in the Queens. Those penalty conversions weren't good, but they've come out and they've looked really good throughout the whole day. And Cruz Hegi now looks to take it forward on the ball. We were talking at the halfway point how good Cruz has got and moving forward like this as he sends it out left. Coming there now is going to be Laulay. Laulay with the cut, couldn't quite pick it up, and it falls here now for Torgatar. Torgatar looking for Cassette. Cassette thought about going on the run, but he found himself in between two players. So here now with Torgatar. Torgatar here for Jehangiri, looking to go in between the two Gaston players. Torgatar, now he looks to urge on the speed. It's in between Torgatar and Hegi. Hegi strong in the ride-off and leaves the ball for Laulay. Laulay, little flick underneath the neck. Tried to take on Sapper Gasset, but Sapper Gasset saw the opportunity, comes back in, finds Pierres, left for Torgetar, and eventually I think all 6 players thought they had the right of way.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting one because there was a while before the whistle was blown, which meant they didn't think that it should. They played the advantage. There was Britos with his hand in the air. You had Sapper who stopped on the line. You had Britos that went to the left of it. But just going back to Cruz, interesting that you say that, John, because we were, 5 minutes 10, so only literally a minute or so in, and he decided to get off his horse that he started the Chukker on, jump onto Nippers, and great ponying that ride off because Torgetar was coming in tight, and he just managed to hold his own on that one. There is a chat here about which way it's going to go. They've moved it up the field a little bit. Free change going on. Whilst they've got this stop in play, as you can see everybody galloping off. We are recording about 33 to 34 degrees at the moment in heat. Let's just see if Cruz stays on Nippers or whether he jumps off again and comes back out. No, he will. So he's only played that pony. It's really interesting the way the strategies on that and the way the players are. So he took Nippers out for what? He went on at 5:10. It's now 3:57. So, yeah, a couple of minutes on Nippers. He then jumps back on to a different one again. Let's be interesting to see whether that little one comes back out again or whether that's it done for today. And, of course, they're changing that all to the heat as well. Fouls committed, 6-6 on the field. But let's look at the map on the live stream. You can see, look at that. We've got so many spread around. Quite a lot in the right-hand side of the field. One right in front of goal, but the majority are between the halfway and the 30 yards. Such a difference to the first game. So penalty to Jehangiri. Sapo takes this one. Down the line. Direct. Through the goal it goes. Takes Sapo up. Brings them level pegging. This is the first time the scores have changed for such a longer period of time. It was 2-2 in the earlier stages, 2-2 in the second, but this time we go from 6-6 to 7-6. It's been a while.
So here now with Heggie. Heggie, long drive down the goal, looking here for Laulay. Laulay sends Britos to the left. Laulay will pick it up. Beltran Laulay with the tap, picks it up. Superb goal again by Gaston, and that's where they are so impactful. Give it to Heggie, send the long drive, and Laulay does the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. He's fearless, he's creative, and when he gets that spark, it just gets the whole of the Gaston team moving. He can create something really from absolutely nothing. That's what I love about Beltran Laulay. I think that's what I would say. He just manages to create something that really doesn't give him much, but he makes it work in the end. And straight away, look, we're back to 7-7 already from that breakaway. So we just umpire asking for a line-up. They're right in front of the grandstand, just taking a shoe off the field. It's won straight away by Gaston on the attack.
So Beltran Laulay ridden out of it there by Pierres. Pierres so good, picking it up in between Britos and Laulay again. To his left-hand side goes Cassette. You could see what they were trying to do, and it came off for them as well as Cassette now hooked out of it by Laulay. Now watch the speed of the attack as Laulay looks to run through the centre, but he thought better of it and now just reaches back as Sapper Cassette comes onto it. Cassette near side backhand, just forced it wide of Britos, but coming down that line pretty quick was Cruz Heggie.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Laule jumped onto a pony called Chotso, and wow, that pony was moving. But as you can see, Cruz Heggie was coming down that line pretty quick, and they are going to get given a penalty. It's a shame because they were really rocking and rolling on that one. But Gaston will have an opportunity to get something from here. They've been pretty consistent. Cruz has been pretty consistent, 100% so far on all his penalty taking. .30 yards penalty, through it goes. It's a nice one. Another one keeping his 100% score. Cruz Heggie takes them into the lead. Gaston, 8 goals to 7. And the tables are turning slightly in this fourth chukker.
So 2 minutes to go here in this fourth chukker. Can either side just get... It's a real game of cat and mouse. Neither side really to get much momentum compared to the other, as Cassette fighting hard there. Little flick backhand, finding Torgatar. That's beautiful polo here by Jehangiri as Torgatar runs through. Takes control. There was a small bounce on it, but it didn't put him off. He takes it a long way wide, and he's ridden out of it there by Laule. The backhand played by Britos, seeing if he can find Heggie on the turn. Heggie with the cut shot, and they're gone again. This time looking to use John-Paul Lucic. Lucic running away. The players in black appealing. The umpire's happy as John-Paul Lucic gets the first shot. He's got the green grass of lawns out in front of him. John-Paul Lucic on the grey with the shot. It's going. John-Paul Lucic just wide.
Oh, John-Paul. What a play. What a good run all the way up the field on that grey, which I think is Galema. Takes it all the way, and he just couldn't quite finish it off. It just ran away with him. That's how good the fields are. He just hit it and just overshot it slightly. But the way that was read by Cruz Heggie, he saw the gap, he punched it up there, and well done to Jean-Paul Lucic. Great run.
Great run, and that will just give also Jehangiri something to think about moving forward. They cannot leave that much space at the back as well as Heggie. Ooh.
Yeah. So you were just about to say, John, weren't you, about Heggie will capitalise on that, but I think Sapo caught that one. I think Cruz was caught sleeping there, but I don't think he saw Sapo coming down the line. I think he had more time.
Yeah, you had to go for the backhand there. Sapo riding down it. The umpires, they're never going to let him have that one.
No, absolutely not. It's kind of becoming like a bit of a tactical battle, this. And like you say, it's a bit of cat and mouse. It's they're making each team work very hard for every goal. That is for sure from both of these.
It's almost a shame as well, Carl. They've been doing it so well, playing the quick backhands and getting running, and then they just get caught. Suddenly decided for some reason to keep it.
Yeah, it's really interesting the way where the fouls are coming from, because there's no consistency in where they're coming. They're just happening all over the field, and from both sides.
Yeah.
So Sapo taking this 60-yard penalty. It's a good strike, and it's through. He's got a couple of greys. I think it's another one. It's not Chukker, but we'll find out. Another one for Sapo. 8-7. Interesting to see these penalties of being blown.
So players back in the middle. Ball goes in play. Ojalata is the grey that Sapo Gasset is on. He came over last year. So it's here now with Heggie as we hear the first buzzer go. Just being chased down there again by Torgatar. Torgatar's got to get close, and he does. It's left behind now for John Paul Lucic. Looking to pick it up and take it round quickly. Had to be a little bit quicker as Britos just about stayed on, as it's here now with Heggie. They want to get themselves out in front before the fifth. Heggie with the cut shot. Can he get round in time? It's going to be close. He's got to find one more backhand. He does, but it's gone wide.
It's wide at the end of the fourth, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8-8 here at Cowdray and on the live stream, and you can just see these umpires asking these players if they don't hit this ball, if they don't do these easy, smooth, quick transitions and they start to mess around with it, they will get blown or fouls will be caused. For Chukker finished 8 all apiece. We'll be back in a few moments, and here on the live stream we've got a great interview with Mr. Porcel, Claudio Porcel, and we'll see you in a few moments.
Es increíble, no hay palabras, la verdad. Que fueron 7 partidos a lo largo de un mes. Fue todo un viaje con estos chicos que son atletas de elite. Geta, Lorenzo y Ned. Se generó una onda de equipo muy linda, porque son, además de ser atletas, son buenos tipos. Se dio lo que habíamos planificado. Es muy difícil ser campeón, porque campeón sale uno solo. Así que, bueno, se nos dio. Espectacular, muy felices. Jugamos muy concentrados, muy concentrados. Queríamos ganar la copa y eso se notó. Jugamos bien todo el partido. Los caballos estaban espectaculares y bueno, se trabajó bien. Fuimos llevando la caballada durante este mes y medio, de a poco, y hoy estaban increíbles. Yo creo que más importante que este no hay, para un amateur, digamos, como yo, que esto es a lo máximo que se puede aspirar. Me dijeron que es la primera vez que un patrón argentino gana esta copa, así que muy orgulloso de eso. Pero bueno, ahora queda tratar de repetir, capaz, ¿no? Así que vamos a ver si podemos armar algo lindo para el año que viene.
So here we go. Welcome back. It is at the start of the fifth. Welcome back on the live stream. 2 more chukkers to go. Stats are on the screen. Look at that, 100%. As we talked about, Sapo on all his set. Cruz has dropped 1 now. He's dropped his penalty 4-5. He goes to 80% on that. We had 3 out of 3 for Jehangiri on the 30 yards, 1 out of 1 for 40 yards, and 1 60 yards. We got everything bar that 60 for Cruz earlier. But we're still, even though they dropped that, we're still level pegging. So
Full in out for Juan Britos, picking up on a rare mistake between Pierres and Cassette. Britos running through. Quick back there was Pierres, and they do survive this time round. The backhand into the open space. Mohamed Jehangiri thinks about it. The umpire's happy or not so happy, second time coming.
Yeah, that's great for Mohamed. Maybe he can get a penalty there for his team. Or did he ride into the... he rode into that line. I thought he got that one for that, but he rode into the line, unfortunately, went across, so they're going to move it up to a 5B, I think. They're going to go even further. They're going up to 60 for Gaston. Penalty 3 for Jehangiri. So very clear on that. It was definitely a Jehangiri line. Gaston, really, that's a silly foul from them. They will be kicking themselves for that because Sapo from here has been consistent in this match. Great strike, and he keeps his consistency. And up he goes, and up goes another one on the scoreboard in the 5th for Sapo. Breaks the tie on the scoreboard. A lot of penalties in this match for sure. But well done, Mohammed, and well done to Jehangiri using that opportunity.
Players come again. Oh, Togatar, just his eyes lit up for a second, but he left the ball behind, and it's here now with Jean-Paul Lucia now. We saw him come up really close a few minutes ago. Where can he go from here? The ball just down at the boards. He's out in front. He's got Laule behind him as well as he takes it up towards the back line. He's going to have to find the angle. He slows it down well. Jean-Paul Lucic, look at him go. He's taking on Pierre's. Jean-Paul Lucic wide again to the left-hand side of that goalpost.
Having a great pick up from there, though, Jean-Paul, and a really good pressure. He's having a great game for Gaston at the moment. Couldn't finish.
He is, and what it does as well, Carl, like we were saying, is it just makes sure there's always someone thinking back for Jehangiri, because you can't leave him. You know he can run the distance and score the goal should it be the time. As it's taken out left now by Cassette, looking to see if he can find Pierres. Pierres now runs to the left-hand side. Now look for Gonzalito to pick up speed ahead of Cruz Heggie, but Heggie strong in at the ride-off. The overlap is here, and the overlap, it was nearly going to work, but it deflects off the pony of Sapo Cassette, and it goes over the boards as well.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that they're very balanced, but then you could say that Gaston know these grounds well. You know, the few teams know better the grounds than Gaston, a local team, but it's not really playing that at the moment because it's literally cat and mouse. There's the release.
So sent long by Heggie. Out wide to the left-hand side. Yeah, we obviously saw Gaston. They did play the Tripits Challenge here as well. Got to the final, defeated, which is certainly no disgrace to be defeated by Balance Capital La Hechicera in that final, but they've looked really good.
Yeah, really have. Look forward to seeing what that team does in the Queen's Cup, from the Queen's Cup win into the Gold Cup win, La Balance, of the regroup for La Hechicera.
So here with Cassette, the little flick backhand, but it hasn't quite worked for them. Quick to it this time was Heggie, and I think he picked up the line, Carl. You see that play being tried more and more, the sort of flick backhands to themselves, and Cruz read it perfectly.
Cruz read it really well. I've been really impressed with him. I think he's had a really good game so far. Those of you on the live stream, you can just see they're going to give this a little free change in the 5th here. We're 4 minutes. Cruz Heggie on the live stream just changing onto another pony. Jumps off Creativia onto a spare, which I don't have here listed. A lot of players just getting this first opportunity to get some ponies out, to see how their string's feeling after the Queens, to see what kind of order they're going to start playing things and get this nice foundation going. It's a long old haul, the 3 to 4 weeks of a lot of polo that's got to be played at the highest level, and it's those teams that manage their horses the best and have that depth of horses that they can circulate through will be the ones that will hopefully keep going till the end.
How do you reckon, Carl, obviously super hot today, they're allowing the sort of change every half chukker. How would that impact the thinking of the players today, how they prepare their strings?
Yeah, do you know, I think it actually will send a bit of a curveball, won't it? Because some horses need to keep playing, they need to be kept, you know, at that peak. And you've got to manage that. There's 2 days now of, and also it's the heat that's also exhausting. It's the draining heat. Even if they don't play, that heat drains horses, and it's accumulative, right? It'll happen over the next few days. It's not just the fact that it's hot for 2 days. It's hot before, it's hot after, but it's that whole week process. So that is going to change a lot into maybe what they originally thought on the string to what they're actually then maybe going to have to bring the table on Friday. But then also you've got that games are now going to have to be pushed in, a lot more games into the same amount of days. So that's another factor as well. Are horses going to get more downtime or not?
Yeah, no, it's not easy. We can understand, obviously, why they've done it and the decision that was made, but it does add all these questions.
So it's a penalty to Cruz, Heggie and Gaston. He's got it. Very nice, undefended along the ground. And he'll take the score up one more for Gaston. Sapo coming back out on Sapo Tuka, the grey that he played right at the beginning. And he's popping back out on it again. We are 9 apiece again here at Cowdray in the 5th.
So ball out the back, and now look for Rochi Toragatar. He's coming away clear. He's being chased over speed of Laulay in defence. Good enough. And he gets fair on the offside as well. Wonderful play in defence. We've seen how good throughout this game Beltran Laulay is in the attack. Now showing his defensive prowess here as he takes it across his own goal. Good play here by Laulay. Waiting down the ground is Cruz Hege. Ooh, Beltran Laulay just left the ball behind. And it comes here now for Britos. Britos spins it back round to the left-hand side of the waiting Toragatar. Britos didn't get the cleanest of hits, but it will work out as Laulay now gets it. Now watch for Britos down the centre of the ground. Still here with Laulay. Laulay out to the right-hand side. Couldn't quite pick it up. So Toragatar rides straight into Hege. The umpire's happy for Cruz Hege to turn it back round. Cruz Hege now in front of Toragatar. Reaches out, gets the tap. Cruz Hege, it's another one for the great player from Argentina. Cruz Hege, and it's double digits on the board.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how he had the space there that was created. He got the break, but Toragatar just couldn't quite get him. And Sapo was there waiting for it, but Cruz just managed to have such freedom and such room in order to take that ball through. Gaston, when they break and explode like that, they really don't miss. It's really nice from Cruz Hege. Another one on the board.
So ball goes back in play. 10-9. Gaston. Now, Toragatar. Chest pumps that one, almost like a football match out there as Toragatar runs in between Britos and John Paul Lucic it was. Now Rochi Toragatar takes it out to the right-hand side. He's got an angle to work at. He's got Sapo looking to help him out as Britos applies the pressure. Still now is Rochi Toragatar. He's danced around a lot of them, but the umpires, they didn't like what they were seeing, I think, behind him off the ball.
No, but the players didn't like it either. There's a big noise come from the field. It is the blocking. It is that blocking rule that is proving so useful and so important. Just got to make sure every time you're in the right place and where that ball's got to go. If you find yourself accidentally blocking, intentionally blocking, you will get blown. So Gaston lead by a goal. Look at Juano Britos. He's on Pelon's horses, remember, but he's making them work well for him up there with Rochi Toragatar. And it's released to Cruz Hege up to Laulay.
So Laulay to pick it up in front of Gonzalito Pierres. Here now with the waiting Laulay. Laulay sends it out right. Good interplay again between the two, Hege and Laulay. Hege now looks to run to the right-hand side of Sapo. No easy feat to do, but it looks like he's going to spin it back round. Look at the skill there by Hege. He may well be back on Brillantina in this Chukker as he sends it long down the ground. Coming back in defence, it's going to be Toragatar. The tail backhand played by Rochi as he's looking for Cassette. Cassette now on the run. Can he pick it up on the offside? Yes, he can. Now watch him open it up. No, decides to slow it down instead. Now, Cassette looks to run round the outside of Cruz Hege. The ball goes up, and I'm just looking over the Gaston tent. I think it's over the boards.
Yeah, I stood up for that one, John. Just wanted to see where that one's gone, but it is knocked out. It's a quick drop ball to Gaston. They want the momentum. They want to keep this flow. Cruz is seeing... I was going to say Cruz is seeing every opportunity at the moment, but that was a little stumble. Has it stopped that flow? Is it enough to get Britos, or will Toragatar right onto that one?
Oh, how about that by Rochi Toragatar? Just for little auto back to himself. Confident play here by Toragatar as he now takes it right. He wants to tie us up here. Toragatar can't get round Cruz Hege. Look how he just closed down all angles, comes back, open backhand, only as far as Pierre's now, Britos. Now the ground opens up, there's a stumble behind the play. The umpires are saying the play is not disturbed, so they will let it carry on as this Britos taking on Sapo Cassette. Britos with the approach. Look at Cassette coming back. Has he got the speed? Is Britos out in front? The buzz is gone. Chukker got him, Sapo got him, but the backup, it's going to be Britos again. Britos spins it round. The umpires, though, did they blow the whistle? I might have heard something. The goal is scored. And it is a goal. I heard something, but it is a goal, so it's 10 goals all.
John, that was really interesting. So what happened there was Gonzalito had reached out for that shot way down in there, and in doing so, he lost his balance. He left the saddle. He came out. He fell on the floor. It hadn't impeded the game. The game got allowed to carry on. Brilliant from Sapo and Britos. They cancelled each other out, but there was no one behind because the speed of those horses from Sapo and from Britos. And Britos managed to spin back and get that goal. And instantly we've got a little bit more advantage. 11 to Gaston, 9. We'll be back in a few moments after this break.
Feel it more with Lineup Pro, the premium subscription from Lineup Polo. Follow every stat live in real time. Search any player and discover win rates, strongest teammates, and powerful performance insights. Search Lineup Polo and subscribe now.
We're back, and we're live on Cowdray TV and Polo Line. Chukker by Chukker, if you have a look at that, it was 2-2 in the first. It was 3-4 to Jehangiri, to Gaston, sorry, in the second. They then scored 1, but Jehangiri scored 3. They had a brilliant third. Chukker leading 6-5 at half-time. Then they both went up to 8-8. It was 8-8 in the fourth. And then now in the fifth, momentum has swung with Gaston, even though they were late to come to the table. Jehangiri led all the way until halfway through the fourth. And now we're 11-9 with wind in the sails with the local team. The Trippets, Cowdray based Gaston that know these grounds well. And I hope Gonza's okay. He had a little tumble down in the far side. I don't know if we saw it on the camera, but game continued, and he literally just checked the ground, make sure that the ground was okay, and he was happy, and then he remounted, just picking up his Rolex, his Richard Mille watch that he dropped. So a couple of crowds are cheering out for Gaston, I can hear, and a couple of people cheering out there for Jehangiri. So nice to see. The breeze is nice here at Cowdray. Really is. I think without this breeze we would be feeling it even more. But it is great to see so many people here for the first opening day of the St. Regis British Open for the Cowdray Gold Cup. Akasha won the first match. If you just tuned in to Polo Line against White Crane, Akasha won the Carlos Cressida. But it's here, and it's all about the last Chukker for Gaston and for Jehangiri.
So Cruz Heggie sent it down the ground looking for Jean-Paul Lucia, but it's going to come straight back out then with Pierres. And now he has Mohamed Jehangiri out in front. Mohamed, can he find it? He's being chased by Britos. Now Mohamed Jehangiri looking to get his first score of the tournament with a cut shot.
Oh, John, that was so beautiful. I was so hoping. I mean, the cut shot was beautiful. It just, I don't know how it went, 3 inches to the right, but nice play and nice strength from Jehangiri and nice, brilliant play from Mohamed. He'll be super pleased with that.
Yeah, really nice play. Consolito spotted him, sent it up, but it's here now. Yeah. Ooh, Hegi, just for a second. Sapagaset had an opportunity, but Hegi won it back. Hegi now with the tap. Spreading the play up the front is Laulay. Cruz Hegi looks to drive it long, but he didn't know that Cassette was back in his slipstream, but he's able to turn back around and get it. It's here now with Cruz Hegi. Hegi sends it out left. Regathers his composure, looking to see if he can find now the waiting Laulay. Laulay under pressure, stolen off him as the tail backhand played by Torregatar. Here now with Pierres. Pierres sends it long for Cassette, but Cassette can't get round Britos first time. Britos does well just to close him down on the far side in front of a 1901 Whiskey Group background over there, as it's here now with Britos drawing the whistle.
Yeah, Britos and Sapo together on the far side. The replay will tell us. Sapo just crossing in front and Britos not able to hit that ball. Ball's been brought up to the middle in favour for Gaston. So plenty of polo to be played over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And just to remind, some of you might be tuning in to catch the last part of this game, or those of you here, polo will be postponed tomorrow and Thursday just because of the extreme warnings that we've got in place for the horses and obviously the welfare of the crew, the players, the horses. So we will be squeezing in games in and around the schedule. So keep an eye on the new game times for the next few days after Thursday. Cruz Hegi. What a strike. Up it goes.
We've seen him try this a couple of times. It's going to drop in front of a goal mouth, but Britos this time lost sight of it. But coming down the line was Laulay.
There's a big cheer from the Gaston tent, John. I can hear them when that whistle got blown. They were saying, wow, if it goes for us, it's going to be an automatic goal.
It's a good tactic, Carl, when you've got the long hitter, even if it doesn't find the front man, have the other runners coming in behind so often as we saw there, they will pick up the line.
Yeah. And you know, he tried it like you said before. He nearly, we did score from that, didn't they? The Gaston, they said, we did score from that. We popped it up and it just needed finishing off. And exactly the same. This is going now to a penalty for them. They've moved it from the spot and gone to the 30. And it is Cruz again. On the ground, there it goes, flag goes up, another goal to Gaston, 12 goals to 9. Wind is in their sails and it feels for the first time properly that the momentum has shifted. They didn't start taking the lead until really the end of the 4th. Going into the 5th, they break that 8-8 tie and now they just seem to be stepping away and just getting a little bit more control, a little bit more momentum and less fouls at the moment on their side.
The ball comes back into play, and it's taken out here by Sapagaset. Sapagaset leaves it for Torregatar. Torregatar back to Cassette. Cassette now just looking to see if he can find a gap, and he does. It's here now, Sapo, look at him go. Takes it out to the left, looks to open it up in front of Laulay, but he's just left the ball behind. Britos, backhand played, looking for Hegi or Jean-Paul Lucic on the turn. Jean-Paul Lucic won't get there. Pierres does. They've got to get the next score in this game as Sapagaset appeals for a foul. Torregatar gets it. A little game of ping-pong between the two sides as Torregatar. Behind him is Pierres Rochi. Torregatar with the shot. Oh, he needed to put more on it as it's cleared away by Britos again. and picked up now by Jean-Paul Lucic. He's had such a good game as Jean-Paul Lucic, and he sends Beltran Laulay on his way. He's got Rochi Torigata looking to close down his space. Beltran Laulay takes it to the right-hand side, keeps the ball out on the board to slow it down with Sapagaset behind him. Torigata in front of him. Still now is Beltran Laulay looking to see if he can find the goal shot. It's going to run across the goal mouth. Jean-Paul Lucic with the touch wide. To the left-hand side.
Can we just appreciate how quick and what a run and what skill that was from Laulay? That was a beautiful ball, a beautiful strike, and the way his horse shot forwards to get a little bit of length on there. Whistle's been blown, free change happening. A couple of people popping off down to the ends to get onto some fresh ponies. Both patrons splitting to their camp. Jean-Paul down to the right tent. Mohammed down to the left tent, and a lot of the pros up at the top just changing. Feels like the game shifted again, John. It's sort of been three parts. They both sort of started out similarly, then it went a little bit cat and mousey, and then now it feels like Gaston have just found a bit more of a groove. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's been interesting as well. We saw in the last game Akasha, who were the other finalists of the subsidiary final of the Queen's Cup along with Gaston, so arguably, well, not arguably, they did have the longer campaigns coming into this game. Their horses, as the games have gone on, have just looked a little bit faster and a little bit fresher, despite playing those increased number of games up in guards for the Queen's Cup.
Thank you very much to everybody that's sending in messages. We're getting lots of nice comments and feedback from people watching around the world. Good morning in America and Argentina. Well, it's getting up to lunchtime now, surely. And thank you for your comments. I'm glad you're joining us. Hopefully you'll join us for every game. It's live all the way through the tournament. Broadcast on Cowdray TV and Polo Line TV. And we've got plenty of polo to be played. Jean-Paul's back to the field. What a great game he's had. Literally, you cannot leave him alone. I think Jehangiri worked that out, didn't they, at the beginning? They were like, we definitely can't leave Jean-Paul alone because he will take that ball.
It's a great way of playing. Both sides have done it. You saw Balance, Kaplan and Queens, they did it. They have the overlap. They hit it long every now and again, and it just does keep the other side honest in their defence. It's here now with Sapa Cassette with the tap, looking now to leave it for Pierres. He will pick it up. He sends it out wide, looking for Torigata. I don't think he's going to get round Laulay. He's had the better of that contest so far today, as it's here now with Cassette. Cassette bringing it round. Takes it out the air once and again twice. Now drives it into the ponies, and it will fall here behind for Pierres again. Just lost sight of a ball for a second, and that was enough for Hegi to capitalise. But looking to come back and steal it off them both is Sapo Cassette. Used it is Vakul. He takes it out to the right-hand side. Can't get round again. Hegi defending well from front. Now look for Laulay. Laulay wants the backhand. Britos just
well
about
sat.
stays on in the middle, and it's there with Pierres with the backhand again. Laulay takes it forward in front, just giving himself space as he takes it to the left-hand side of the waiting Gonzalito Pierres. Laulay. That clock continues to tick down. Just over 2 minutes left in this contest. Still the umpires say play on. An extended period of play here as Torigata looks for Cassette. Pierres, he wants the pass, but unable to find him. So it will be here on the near side to be for Pierres again. Pierres spins it round in front of Britos. Patient play here. They've got to get moving quickly here to the team in black because they ain't got long left in this game as it just deflects off the pony. Now Britos looks to go. He's a player who certainly doesn't hang around if he's got the opportunity. Britos with Pierres nearby. Juan Britos. Run it to the left in Laulay. The ball goes down the centre looking for Jean-Paul Lucic. He can't get it this time round, so Sapagaset, he finds it in front of Hegi. Now sends it left. There's two players taking over one of Britos, and it's going to be here with Gonzalito Pierres. Behind is Mohamed Jehangiri with the shot up into the 30, but the defence is good, and still the play carries on as Beltran Laulay takes it out to the left-hand side. Back with him there was Pierres, sent down the ground by Britos as Pierres unable to find it, and near side play now for Torigata. Understandably now, these players, they aren't going to go with full energy at this point with the amount of time left, as Torigata does send it wide right, and I'd imagine a few players now will go off and take the chance to change.
Yeah, there's a whistle as well on that, so... Another change. That was a good flow of a few moments with that play of polo. So it's looking like Gaston are going to take this. Second game of the day in the St. Regis British Open for the Cowdray Gold Cup. Akasha takes the first win. Gaston, if anything goes crazily wrong here, will be taking the second win. But still a few moments left, 9-12.
We do, just to mention after this game, we do have the annual chairman's drinks. If you are able to stay around, and also Pete Walters and his team, they are doing a dinner after a chairman's drink. There are still tables available if you are around for the remainder of what will be a beautiful evening here at Cowdray Park.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And it really sets up, doesn't it? Day one. And then the big one, Midhurst Town Cup at the weekend. That promises to be one of the busiest days on the calendar. So up to Gaston and up to Cruz.
So Cruz Heggie again looking to come through here as Heggie just leaves the ball behind him. Tail back and played. We are now in the final stages of this contest. It's going to be Gonzalito Pierres to bring it back round again. Pierres. Behind him there is John Paul Lucic. So Pierres just chooses to keep it close. Now he sends it into the pony, picks up the defence, into again, and now across game Heggie, and the umpires eventually do blow a pretty strong whistle on the play.
Yeah, bless. Gonzalito did try and find that ball a few times. It found Juano Britos, but it bounced back to Gonzalito. But that time, Cruz was in front, and he just drifted. Juano's explaining to Cruz, and that was silly. You didn't need to be there. We shouldn't have given that away, but penalty looks like it's going for a final time up towards the shirts for the black for Jehangiri in front of goal. Quick chat from the umpires to make sure that that is the case. Quick look back at the replay and see actually where Cruz was into relation of that line with Gonza coming down. So Cruz Heggie didn't have a play on that one. He drifted a bit onto it, so it will be a penalty in this last moments for Sapo. And Jehangiri's got all his penalties so far. Get another one. All the goals have been scored. For those of you that might be interested, every single goal so far from the Black Shirts has been scored by this man, Sapo Cassette. Does he make it 10 before timeout? He does. It's a great goal. He's been consistent. It's 10 goals on the scoreboard for Jehangiri, and it's 10 for Sapo. They'll come back to the middle. They're probably going to call it very soon. And second win of the day goes to Gaston. The Queen's Cup match has been reversed, and Gaston have taken it. 10-12. The final score here at Game 2 for the St. Regis British Open for the Cowdray Gold Cup. Some brilliant play. Special mention to all of the horses there for giving so much in the heat. And it was a nice game. It was very cat and mouse at some points. It was very different to the Game 1 that we experienced. But both two teams really fighting it out. There was a battle. Well done to Juano Britos for filling in, for substituting for Pelon and finding his horses and playing them so well. We'll look at the Chukker by Chukker, but we talked about it earlier. It was 2-2 in the first. It was 3-4. Gaston led for once in the second. It then went 6-5 in the third, so it went back in favour of Jehangiri. It then went after half-time. We both went up to 8-8. And then it was after that fourth going into the fifth that Gaston just turned on the style and the push. And it was 11-9 in the fifth to Gaston. And then 12-10 it was for the final score.
Interesting, Carl, as you spoke about the score progression. I didn't know whether to say it or not, but there was, when you looked at the Queen's Cup after the group stage, if the games were played in 4 chukkers like the sort of 8 and 12 goal polo, Jehangiri were actually the second best team in the tournament.
Absolutely.
And it's maybe shows that's something they've got to work on. They've got to keep it going through the whole game.
Yeah, it's the consistency, isn't it? And, you know, as you say that, look who we go for most valuable players, Cruz Heggie. For Gaston, you know, 6 penalties scored from 4, 3 goals, 4 fouls, 6 penalties scored. He takes the most valuable player, and you've got to set your stall out from the front, and you've got to keep that consistency up because, like we said, every game feels like a semi-final or a final, doesn't it? Here in such a tough tournament.
And I think credit to both teams in the way their horses performed today, but Gaston did look like they had a little bit more in reserve in terms of speed, and especially as we speak about that second half. I was really impressed with the horses of Gaston. Cruises looked wonderful. I know I speak to Gaston Laulay, not the Gaston team, but Gaston Laulay, about his breed and all the efforts they put into everything they're doing with Beltran, and he just from start to finish looked amazing. And you mentioned Juan Britos as well, playing the horses of Polons. They look really strong, and great to see for a local side based at Trippets. Gaston looking really good to get us going.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely 100% agree with that. Quick little shots from highlights of the goals. That was a cracking one out wide from Sapo. It literally flew. Cruz Heggie, look at that pitch. Doesn't it look fantastic on these highlights? Cruz had some really good ones. He had some great penalties, but he had some really good field goals as well. Interesting stat that all the goals from the black shirts from Sapo all went to him, apart from one from Gonza. So it was 9. I think was it 9 to Gonza, 9 to Sapo, 1 to Gonza. I think something like that. But it was there was another one from Sapo. Great. 12 final score. 10 Jehangiri. We thank you so much. There won't be any polo tomorrow, remember, or Thursday, but we'll keep you updated. But it's been a great start. 2 very different games, 2 very different battles here in the first day. Plenty of polo to be coming your way for the British Open. It's the 70th year anniversary. Quick look at the stats there. It's really interesting to see. I love this last one at the bottom. If you go, let's go to the bottom up drought. 13 minutes. 13 minutes for a one team from the time they scored the last goal to the time they scored the next goal. Wow. Gaston stayed pretty, so 7:47 was their longest time, and that was the same at half-time, so they didn't push on that. But Jehangiri, obviously, towards the end there, 13 minutes past. Throw-ins, 11-11, very similar. 100%, that's where you look at that, 100% for Jehangiri on their conversions, but Gaston actually dropped, but only by a little bit. Less fouls for them by 1, and obviously more goals coming in from the field goals for Gaston. And then this is one of our favourites this year, having a look at the map at where the fouls are occurring all over in this match. They were very, very grouped in certain particular areas in the first game, but you can see here, powered by Lineup, these graphics. A big thank you to the girls there. Look at the goals. So most of the goals, though, we had a lot of penalties, so that's why they're in front of the penalties there. But the fouls there, you can see, we've got actually a nice big circle from the 60-yard line, round the 5B line, through to the other 60-yard line, and sort of dots around in a certain area there. %, 7 out of 7 for Sapo. He got all his 30s, got all his 40s, and he got all his 60s. Cruz just dropped one, and it was the 60-yard early on in that first half. But he got his 40s and his 30s. So very skilled, and look at the difference in age, and look at the difference in experience. But the pressure, and he wore his captain armband as well. Top scorer for today, Mr. Sapo Cassette, obviously with 9 goals, and Gonza had the 1. So yeah, I said that Gonza Sapo had scored all of them, but actually Gonza did have 1. So it was 9 goals to Sapo, scoring top goal scorer I think he's going to lead. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for joining us here on Polo Line and Cowdray TV. It's been a pleasure to be with you. From myself, Carlo De Martinez, and John Kent. We will see you very soon. Not tomorrow, not Thursday, but look out for us Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and every day, because there's going to be plenty of polo. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.